We go. Yeah, there it goes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. Merry Christmas. And away we go with an M&S Christmas Food 2023 Christmas advertisement. Okay. And so we're back here. And I think Ryan Reynolds does the voiceover. She's up on the top of the Christmas tree.
So silent. Someone needs a hand.
A minute mitten. Almost went to the land of lost mittens. Here they come.
Speak to me, Left.
Oh, I got snow right on my ass.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, hello. I'm Right, and my damn friend here is
Left.
Yeah, he does that when he gets excited.
Lovely. What on
It's
earth
gotta
are you
be
doing
Ryan
outside?
Reynolds.
Oh, goody. It's backstory time. Picture a little girl, let's call her Lily, on a family trip across the pond. Picture a cold night and loose backpack.
Okay.
Picture Lily's tears, knowing she may never again feel the warmth of our polyester knit.
I feel so empty.
What a sad story.
Why, thank you.
Come on, let's sprinkle you with some M&S Christmas magic. Oh, yes. It gets better. Oh, no, that's worse.
This is one of the highest rated Christmas commercials in the UK,
Best.
according to
Christmas
John
ever.
Evans.
This is not just food. This is M&S Christmas food.
Okay, M&S Christmas food. Now they had another commercial that I did feature a few weeks ago, where people were. It was about how you should only do things you love for Christmas, and someone lit up their Christmas cards, and somebody thought it had something to do with the Hamas-Israel clash, and I get why you might put a torch to your Christmas cards that you intended to send, but didn't get them mass produced properly. So this one actually did better because of the fairy, which you saw at the beginning. I think the fairy right here, and she's ready to blast some holiday cheer out there. And so anyway, it sounds to me like it's Ryan Reynolds, but let's get over to the backstory. There isn't any real backstory on this one except that they had used it before. And so here's a recent ad by Marketing Week and Chris Sutcliffe, and it talks about how the M&S, here it is, M&S food ad reprising the role of Dawn French's fairy. And I don't know who Dawn French is. Maybe it's the voiceover actress, but I think it's Ryan Reynolds doing the mittens. I do have a cough drop today, but okay. And The World Needs More Santas did not make the cut, and also a couple other ones did very badly. Oh, the McDonald's fancy McDonald's this Christmas was a kind of a redo of the arches thing, but they left out the arches part, and it was completely meaningless. It was horrible. So no wonder that one didn't get any ratings. Okay, it was just really, really dumb. That's in there someplace. So last year, 16 made the 5-star cut. This year, 20 received 5 stars. And reusing the familiar M&S fairy seemed to be effective. There's a link to, I think it's Ritzen's campaign, Good Campaigns Wear In, why brands that embrace continuity are winning this Christmas. And that's been a theme recently, that advertisers probably ditch their ads before the consumers are ready. Yeah, here it is. Raise Your Arches. That's the name of the McDonald's theme. Incidentally, yes, I started a little late today. Vinny said he's been sleeping in and missed the live broadcast, so I wanted to make sure he had a shot at getting in here live, although I don't see him today. So, Vinny, you're going to have to get up earlier to catch me, right? Okay, so next, Polestar. This was an interesting article. Polestar launches TruthBot to debunk climate change myths. Okay. by Tanya Godzik, right, at Media Post. There we go, Tanya. And so Polestar is launching TruthBot, a purpose-built bot created with the goal of debunking accuracies about climate change. And of course, if you know anything about bots and AI, they make up things. So it strikes me really odd as a way to increase credibility by using a bot instead of an expert or something like that. And you'd think the United Nations Climate Change Conference would have enough credibility on its own not to need a bot, but Polestar is an electric vehicle company. So the advantage of a bot in this case is that it gets around and it can react to people's comments. It says, nice to meet you. I'm Polestar's TruthBot. My mission is to clear up misinformation being posted about climate change and EVs ahead of the UN conference, whatever it's called. I'll be using trustworthy facts and data to reveal the truth behind some of the fiction shared on X. Okay, so not to trust the community notes. And so this was launched by the Swedish automotive brand. Scientists have raised alarm. Well, some have raised alarm and some have decreased alarm. Right? So it depends on which side of this you're on. It's not settled science, not by any means. And Judith, I can't remember her last name. Judith, famous climate change expert. I'll have to tag her now. Judith Curry, and I are connected. I reached out to her after a wonderful video that she posted on weather and the human impact of climate change. So anyway, disinformation reveals that X ranked lowest out of the 5 major social media platforms for actions to limit the spread of misinformation. Well, the fact that they allow your bot, I think, is an excellent case in point that they're open to a lot of things. Okay, deliberate misuse of climate data is incredibly damaging, and I would say the IPCC and Judith Curry would agree with this. And I'll put a link to her video in the comments down below. A wonderful lady, brilliant, and one of the top scientists in the world on climate. And, she kind of started it. In fact, she happened to be publishing a paper on Katrina and the potential increase in hurricane force. That seemed to be a progression, but she only used a 20-year window, which was rightly criticized by her peers. But nevertheless, she became the spokesperson for a few years until she started actually looking at the data. Sadly. But if you have an electric vehicle company, I think this is an excellent marketing tool. So backing up from my truth hat, we'll go on to my marketing hat, right? And there is a different hat, as we pointed out yesterday in the excellent article by Bob Bly. You might have temporary belief. So Frederica Claren, maybe because it's got an accent. No, I don't know. I don't speak Swedish. We believe the opposite, that a truthful use of scientific data can be a powerful tool to help navigate the climate drama. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But you need to listen to Judith. The Polestar TruthBot is responding to climate myths on X using factual data. And so let's go down to the TruthBot and see how it's doing before we get into the propaganda here. So we won't be able to read this, but the problem is that here somebody posted and said hydrogen vehicles are environmentally friendly, electric vehicles are not. And I think there's a lot of truth to that, especially if you can go from nuclear energy to hydrogen without a conversion to electricity first, which is, I think that's one of they just use the heat of the power plant instead of using and every time you change the nature or the state of energy, you lose a little bit in the transfer. So somebody posted that hydrogen is better than electric vehicles, okay? Whether you believe it or not. Here comes TruthBot. TruthBot comes in and says, well, an electric vehicle uses less fossil fuel than a car, than a gasoline car. You say, wait a minute, that's not what we were talking about. Not at all. That's nothing to do with it. And plus it says, I mean, the truth is an electric vehicle in most places in the world would be a coal-powered car because that's how they're generating the electricity to charge it. Or like in California where you see the power stations with a diesel generator right behind it that they can charge the powering stations. So you're basically a diesel car. You're a whatever car used to charge it. So anyway. But I think if you're an electric vehicle car, then the TruthBot is a pretty interesting idea. Okay, let's put it that way. Now, before I go on, I just wanted to say I got this in the mail yesterday, and you might not recognize any of it. You might not know what it is. It says analytics at the top with a little graph, and turn your insights into results, a vague, vacuous headline. It violates almost all the rules. The type is almost too small to read with all this white space. Now on the back, to give you a clue who it's from, on the back is almost endless fine print about the offer, which, probably legal built this mailer. But up here in the corner, it says Google. So we know it's from Google now. And that's a tip right off the bat, that if you're the largest .com and one of the most highly valued companies in the world, you should be using direct mail. And they have a cute little interior which says Google Ads. I don't know why there's no Google Ads on the outside. That's crazy. Okay. Mom's World unlocked the power of Google Ads. And so apparently Mom's World is #1 mother, child, and baby shop. And I don't know if this is a real, that's one of the problems with the case study, is it a real company or not? Online baby shop in the Middle East, Dubai, UAE, and a bunch of other places. So it's working for everybody. But you're mailing it in the United States. So if that's the only case study you have, I'd say you should probably work on it a little more. Anyway, there's a number to call. Really interesting. There's a phone number to call, which may get you a person. Would be interesting to find out. But no QR code. There's apparently an offer because there's all kinds of fine print. Oh, here it is. Here it is on the inside flap. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, it was gummed down when I opened it. It was gummed down to this. Okay, but then I immediately opened it. So that's a problem. I think it would have been better to put the offer right there than here. Okay, put the testimonials there because now you're outside of the realm of the offer. So there's some tips for Google if you want to give me a call. And I'm happy to do that with anybody's mailer. Okay, spend 15 minutes and we'll talk about your mailer. Send me one. Happy to talk. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, if you're one of the biggest companies in the world, you might want to use direct mail. Or if you're a small company and you just want to mail people around your store, talk to the people that come in. Okay, response device DMI. Okay, that's DMI, Direct Mail Insiders. You might notice a curious resemblance of DMI to the logo down below that says join the digital resistance. Unfortunately, digital is a little too big there. We should probably say join the direct mail freedom fighters. Maybe David could do one like that. So direct mail would be big, and you could make it direct mail freedom fighters or something like that. Think of how we can make marketers sound like freedom fighters. Warriors, maybe direct mail warriors. That sounds good, and it goes with the WDMA. Warrior Direct Marketing Association. Anyway, if you are still with me, this is the best part of the show right now, so you better stay with me. Okay. Never call your device an order form, and we're probably going to have to do half of this tomorrow because it's too good to relegate to the end here. In Direct Marketing Methods, which I was a contributor and got a nice thank you on the inside cover from Bob Stone, I think the 7th edition mentions me in the credits or something like that. Okay, don't call your reply device an order form. Call it a reservation certificate, free gift, check, trial membership, or some other benefit heading. Whatever you call your response or your reply device, your mailing, it's your mailing in miniature. It's a distillation of your product, service, price, and offer. Many people read the reply device first since it saves time, right? So then you get the idea. If you see this response device, if you see this here with the QR code, it's got gummy on it though, which is kind of icky, icky. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess they have to gummy that side. Booger glue, I call it. Here's something to get started. $500 in advertising credit when you spend $500. And then there's an asterisk which takes you to the fine print over there. BOGO. Buy one, get one. Right? Spend $500 and you get $500 credit. Okay? And I'm thinking it's a $1,000 budget, so it's 50% off, $500 off. Or a $500 rebate on $1,000. There's a lot of ways you can say that. I don't think this is a particularly good one. Okay, and it says you can try ads. Okay, and there's the phone number again. So it's a response device, but it doesn't really say much about what the benefit is. Okay, so, and it's for retailers. I'm not a retailer, so their targeting is poor. Their design is poor. This back cover is horrible. But other than that, they're using direct mail, so that's kind of good. So reply device as art. So now we're going to stop here, and I'm going to just tell you a little story in the last minutes. So I went to work for Windham Hill Records. Windham Hill, here's a Christmas CD that they gave me, Christmas CD. And they were a small independent record label. And George Winston, Linus and Lucy, the Peanuts theme song guy, was their biggest artist. And they mainly sold at retail, but they had a little catalog. And they called me up and they said, we got this catalog. We don't need to make any money. And I said, well, that's nice. Nice to hear from you, but I don't work with people who don't want to make any money. They said, well, we mean that our catalog, we know it drives people to the store. So we sell about 4 million of these CDs in the record stores, in the retail stores, and they were in Target and they were in other places. So we just want to, drive traffic to the store. I said, well, I don't work with people like that. So they called me back a month. I gave them a couple of people to work with, and they called me back a month later, and they said, we want to work with you. I said, are you going to make money? They said, well, we will if you think we can. I said, I think you can. There's got to be a way. So I get out there to San Jose or wherever they were. Beautiful place, beautiful offices. We had some great oysters at lunch. Anyway, and they said, we're renting lists. We know from market research that our main audience is men 35 to 55, high income, high education. Okay, Silicon Valley guys. And they said, but when we rent lists like that, we don't get any orders. I said, okay. And sometimes the big challenge is not to smile or laugh at the client. Because, even if 100% of their audience was that, of their customers was that, there's about 4 times more of those kind of people than there are, or maybe even 10 times more than are buying from them. So I said, I had gone out to the store and bought some CDs and found out that some of them had little response devices in them. And I said, have you ever thought of putting in a little response device in your CD that would tell people that you have a free catalog? And they said, no, we never tried that. And I said, well, why don't you do that? So they did. Now, interesting, and this is why I thought of it here, is that they created a card that looked kind of like a greeting card in it. It had Celtic rune symbols in it, and it didn't look anything like an offer. So I thought it would have worked better if they would have done something that said like free catalog on it, free sample, free catalog and free sample in it, or something like that. But they didn't. They made it look interesting, which was consistent with their branding, and I think, anyway, it was moderately effective. Out of out of that 4 million, we generated 600,000 inquiries. No need to rent a lot of lists anymore. We got this figured out. So we rented more than they needed, and we mailed them, and they pulled 15%. So that was 90,000 new customers. 90,000 new customers on a free little response device inserted in their CD case. How about that? So after that, and then they sold out to BMG, BMG, and fired everybody I knew, and never heard the story, but the owner made a lot of money. So it was everybody won, probably except for the consultant who made a couple of grand. But it was a great example of how important it is to include a response device and do a better job. Google, let's just do an A/B split. Okay, I'll call the person, I'll call the number after this and try to talk to a person, see if I get a person, and maybe I'll find out who to talk to and what we can do to help them. So have a great day. Thanks for joining me, Vinny. I don't see any comments live, so you must have slept in. Bye-bye.